Hey guys, guess what? We got new Judge DiSanto. Man, are we excited? I'm super excited. I couldn't believe I found this. I just might be the only cat in the law tube world that has access to this or has found access to this. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, let's enjoy new Judge DiSanto. This case is a barn burner. Just kick back, eat your popcorn, and enjoy. And thanks for joining me on Legal Livewire.
Today's date scheduled for the probable cause conference. Your client was arraigned out county and counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, today's daytime probable cause conference is stated, have discussed with my client that he has a right to an examination within 21 days. Similarly to the last case, Judge just recently retained, seeking some additional time to get up to speed and work towards a resolution. In light of saying my client is waiving his 21 days at this time, is that correct, sir?
Yes.
In light of our request, Judge, please and thank you. And I would ask to come back on the same day if at all possible.
No, we're in the habit of making it more difficult for you. Yes, we will adjourn this to December 19th at 8:45 a.m. And are you currently on probation or parole, sir?
No, ma'am.
How'd you get here today?
Well,
From Detroit?
it's like 2 miles away.
Sir?
$40 drive is like 2 miles away.
Well, it's more than that, but you're telling this court that you walked from there this morning
Yes.
and that your vehicle is not outside in the parking lot.
I'm not allowed to drive.
I know that. That's
Yes.
why you have a charge here, because it's alleged you were driving while you're not allowed to drive.
Right.
You wouldn't be the first one that shows up to court driving when they're not supposed to, so
My vehicle is not outside.
is anybody's vehicle that you borrowed outside?
No vehicle is outside.
You don't have any keys in your pockets?
I do have keys with it to the house.
Okay, let me see.
They're in my coat.
Okay. Let me grab the book.
And Judge, I certainly can't speak to that, but I can speak to the fact that I will make sure that he Ubers or gets necessary transportation when we exit this building, of course.
There's a car key on there.
Yes, but I didn't drive.
So why do you have a car key on here, sir, if you don't drive?
It's been on there for a long time. My car was a Challenger, and that's to a Chevy. That's my wife's car, spare car key.
Right? If you can't drive, why is that a key ring?
It's been on there for a long time. I promise I
I
didn't.
know, so my point is, take it off. You can't drive, take it off.
Do you understand that, sir?
I understand.
But something tells me that you drove here.
This is why I dress warm.
Thank you, Judge. So acknowledged.
All right, bond and conditions are continued. Sir, if you're driving out of this parking lot, you will be arrested again.
Mr. Robinson, you understand and appreciate that, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Moments later.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning once again, Your Honor. Edward Martell, P85051 on behalf of Mr. Robinson. Sir, state your full name, please.
Elijah Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you are to come back in person. That is what this court ordered. Because you violated this court's order. You drove out of the parking lot. You were in a Chevy minivan, so do not try telling me otherwise. You had a white female in the car as your passenger. You are to come here into court with somebody else driving you, and you are to report here to court in 45 minutes. You're to be here by 11 a.m. Counsel, can you zoom back in at 11 a.m.?
I can. Mr. Robinson, reserve any arguments for 11 a.m. Please do not speak on the Zoom. Yes, Judge, please and thank you. I will be available via Zoom.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, you are to be in person in 45 minutes at this courthouse, not driving a vehicle.
I gotta walk back up there. That's gonna take longer than 45 minutes.
Do not, sir. Sir, listen. Do not tell me you walked here the first time again, because I am not dumb at all.
And Mr. Robinson, I would advise you not to speak at this
You
time.
certainly have not gotten back to your home already for your over 2-mile walk that you claim that you did.
I just got dropped off.
Sir, sir, you better stop while you're ahead.
I'm telling the truth. I'm
Sir,
Mr.
sir,
Robinson, I would advise you not to speak at this time.
Okay.
Some other way, but you're to be here at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
2,000 years later.
Judge, if I may?
Yes, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Your Honor. Once again, good morning to your staff. Edward Martell.
I'm sorry, are you Mr. Robinson?
No, I was just.
No, sit down. I'm sorry, counsel. Your name, please, your appearance for the record again, please.
Thank you, Judge. Edward Martell, P85051 on behalf of Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, please state your name for the record.
Elijah Robinson.
Okay. Sir, you are here. This court called you back because you were on the record and you insisted you did not drive to court. You insisted you walked the 2+ miles from your home. Is that accurate so far?
Yes.
Okay. Would that be accurate, counsel?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Please remove your hands from your pockets. I was very clear, at least I thought I was very clear, that you were not to drive a motor vehicle. You were not to drive out of the parking lot, which I suspected, correctly it appears, that your vehicle was in the parking lot. You insisted that your vehicle was not in the parking lot. It was your wife's extra set of keys. Am I accurate so far?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
So imagine my non-surprise when I was told that you did in fact have a vehicle in the parking lot, and you did in fact enter into the driver's side of the vehicle, and you did in fact drive out of the parking lot. I'm pretty positive I said, don't drive out of the parking lot because you will be arrested. Did I not tell you that?
Yes, but I never drove.
Sir, you are on very, very, very shaky ground right now. Because my court officer, the one that was working the door, saw you get into the driver's side of the vehicle and drive off. So you have your friend that was in the car that was in the passenger side, correct? He's here.
No.
No? Who's the gentleman that's here that was trying to walk up here with you?
He's the driver
The one that just drove you here?
that dropped me off and.
Okay, good, we're gonna find out. Sir, come up this way, please. Courtney, can you please have Mark come in here, please? Sir, what is your name for the record?
Nicholas Jenner.
Please spell your first and last names.
NICOLASGENDRO.
Good. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man the truth, the whole truth? Don't interrupt me. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Counsel, I understand that this is not something that you had on your calendar today, but since your client clearly violated bond and clearly lied to this court's considering revoking your client's bond or holding it in contempt. So I'm holding this impromptu hearing.
Understood, Judge.
That's the tether.
Judge,
That is the tether.
Okay, is somebody talking to you on the tether? You have to respond to them.
I can't make it off this.
Just let them know that you're in court. Otherwise, it's going to continue to interrupt the record.
I'm in court. I don't think it's like a person talking. It's like recording.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, sir, can you spell your last name again, please?
GENDRON.
O-N?
Yeah, O-N.
Okay. All right, and so were you here earlier today?
Yes, I was here this morning. I actually brought my cousin Thomas Conley in because he needed a ride because he lives in Harrison, Michigan, 2.5 hours away. I was sitting in the lobby, and when they came into court this morning, I had walked out to the vehicle. When I got to the vehicle, he come out with my cousin and the attorney, and he asked if he needed a ride because he was gonna have to walk. I then drove him. I had my aunt's car keys. You guys can come out and look at the vehicle.
Hold on, pause, hold on. What kind of vehicle do you drive,
A
sir?
Dodge Caravan. It's my aunt's car,
What color is it?
black.
Okay, Mark, can you please, state your name for the record, please?
Mark Kuziak.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay. And so you were working the door a short while ago, correct?
Correct.
And so, I requested after Mr. Robinson's case was done, if you could watch to see if he in fact drove away or not.
Correct.
So, did you see Mr. Robinson, this individual here, leave the courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. And did you see Mr. Robinson get into a vehicle?
Yes.
What kind of vehicle did Mr. Robinson get into?
It was a dark colored minivan.
Okay. Where did you see Mr. Robinson enter the vehicle?
On the driver's side. The driver's side was facing west. It was parked in the south line. It was about 4 or 5 cars back in the first row.
Okay. How many people did you see enter the vehicle?
2.
How many people, who did Mr. Robinson walk out with?
A white male, approximately 5'8", with a dress shirt and bald head.
Okay. Did you see this individual that's here in the sweatshirt at all in the courthouse?
Not when I was here earlier.
Okay. And Mr. Gendron, you're testifying that you were here in the courthouse?
Yes, I walked in, and then when they walked in, I walked out. Also, there's a car seat on the right back seat that he actually had to move to get into the driver's side. You can go out to the vehicle and look at it right now. There's a car seat in the back seat. I drove him to actually High Street in Southfield where I dropped him off at.
And so how did the two of you end up coming back together?
So, like I said, I drove my cousin. They actually were in jail together. He had gave him his attorney's number, so they had the attorney and they walked out together. And he asked if he could get a ride. I gave him a ride. I don't even know who this is.
Right, so how is it that you brought him back? If you don't know who he is, how did you bring him back?
He had my cousin's phone number. And he asked if I'd come back with him so he didn't get in trouble. And I figured it wasn't fair to him that I drove him home and he was getting in trouble, you know? I gave him a ride. I honestly don't even know who he is. Never met him a day in my life. Today was the first day I met him.
And so, Officer Kuziak, you saw Mr. Robinson get in the driver's side. Do you know if it was in the front or the back?
I couldn't be 100% sure. It was like the front. It was closest to the I-beam of the vehicle, so closer to the front by the window glass.
I was actually parked in like the third or fourth spot facing this way, and he got in behind me. He even had to flip the seat up to get in because it was folded over for the kids in the back seat, my aunt's children. I think there's actually a couple of individuals also that are out in the waiting room that were still here this morning that seen me walk in. I talked to the one guy because your guys' doors were locked until 8:30 to be let in. He was standing in the little waiting room before he actually come into the courthouse.
And your testimony is, sir, Mr. Gendron,
Yes.
that you drove both Mr. Robinson and Mr. Connolly out of the parking lot.
Yes, 110%. No questions asked about it. It's my aunt's vehicle. Like I said, I don't even know this name at all, literally.
Mr. Martel, do you have any questions for Mr. Gendron or Officer Kuziak?
I do not, Judge. This allocution when appropriate. I don't want to, be a witness to the case, but I had limited observations that I can attest to.
and when the court is ready.
Officer Kuziak, when the vehicle drove out, did the vehicle at any point come toward the courthouse itself or go straight towards the street?
It went westbound, so it backed out, it headed west, made the loop to get onto Biddle and continued north.
Okay. All right, thank you. And so, Mr. Martel?
Just very limited, Judge. I did witness the young man when I came in this morning, sitting with Mr. Connolly, who also I represent. I do know that I can attest that Mr. Connolly and Mr. Robinson met while incarcerated. On the, while at the podium earlier, and as well as on the way out, I advised Mr. Robinson, you cannot drive. Mr. Robinson, when I came all the way out, was speaking with Mr. Connolly, and then Mr. Connolly I asked him, are you taking an Uber? He said, I'm riding with Connolly. I said, okay, that's a good idea. Ultimately, Connolly got into that. When I got into my car, Connolly got into the passenger side of the vehicle, and then I seen the rear driver's side of the minivan open up. I then exited the parking lot in my vehicle. So I'm of good faith that this young man did ride out of here as a passenger. However, I cannot attest, after I left the parking lot. But when I left, the passenger side rear view of the sliding door was open. So, Judge, I'm, certainly understand and appreciate this court has terms and conditions. I went over these terms and conditions with my client. I'm confident if Your Honor does allow him the opportunity, he will not violate these conditions of bond. Certainly not calling the fine officer disingenuous in his observations. But I don't think that Mr. Robinson was seen driving, nor do I believe in full candor that he did drive out of this out of the parking lot here today after being, advised by Your Honor as well as myself, Judge. So I would ask Your Honor to set aside any violation of bond at this time and allow him an opportunity to continue following terms and conditions, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Robinson, let this be evidence that this court that we are watching. It appeared as though you entered the driver's side. Mr. Gendron is here to testify under penalty of perjury and contempt of court on his own, if he is in fact lying to this court, that he drove his cousin, and the description that Officer Kuziak gave as far as who entered the passenger side would have been Mr. Connolly, based upon Mr. Connolly's presentation here in court earlier with Mr. Martel, and that you entered on the driver's side. And based upon the direction of the vehicle, and that Officer Kuziak wasn't able to see that Mr. Gendron was driving the vehicle, the court does find that Officer Kuziak was not disingenuous in what he stated, because that is what he saw, and he was unaware that there was another individual in the vehicle. That is why I had you come back, because it appeared as though you drove out of this parking lot in direct violation of this court's order. When I told you this court that we would be watching, sir, we were watching. That is why I had you come back to address this. I'm going to reiterate the bond conditions. I'm not finding there's a bond violation. I'm reiterating the bond conditions. No driving. If you didn't think that we were going to watch, we watch. And fortunately for you, you ended up getting a ride from Mr. Gendron. And he was kind enough to bring you back. And apparently kind enough to drop you back off. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. not driving.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank
Have a
you.
great day, Judge.
You as well. We are on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Brad Lewis, 241692.